Man.
How much more help do you
I'm
need?
resident of Collinwood for YouTube, Joel Sage, joined by the author of the Dark Shadows Daybook about Patrick McCray. How are you, sir? We're here to
I'm
discuss.
fine, Jewel. How are you?
I'm good. We're here to discuss 1841 Parallel Time. We've been discussing it. It's episode 1237. Keith Prentice narrates this episode. I love how they do the recap again here with Melanie and Gabriel with the knife scene.
Mm-hmm.
But I love how we get
Mm-hmm.
Melanie's perspective.
Yes, we do.
What did you think of because we don't get Melanie's perspective the last episode, so the reason we're getting Melanie's perspective this episode is because they're going to tease revealing Melanie's mother. What did you think?
I thought it was fantastic. Now, was Nancy Barrett in the last episode?
I believe so. She was at least in the recap.
Oh,
So
okay. Well, yeah, but just because if she wasn't in the last episode, that could explain why she was in the recap of this one.
yeah,
because they expanded.
Yeah, she's in that's the thing. The recap is done more than once. It's done this episode, it's done the prior episode, and I think it's done an episode prior to that. I think
They
it's
do it in 1897.
Yeah, I think it's done for 3 episodes. Yeah. And
it's a lot of recap.
It is. And here we get where Kendrick is talking to Melanie upstairs, and Kendrick still wants, he obviously, him and Melanie are in love, they're going to get married. And she finds out that Melanie tells him that she believes Julia went to the cottage and talked to Carrie Stokes and scared Carrie out of telling her the truth. So Kendrick is going to go talk to Carrie in this. Also, you finally get the death of Gabriel in this episode. Christopher Pennock is going to get a sword through the back after him and Morgan struggle. Morgan pushes him, and Gabriel goes back, impaling him onto the sword. What did you think of Gabriel's death here?
It happened fast. It happened fast, and it was theatrical, but it had a wackiness to it. I mean, was Morgan intending to impale him or just get him away?
I think it was trying to just get him away. I think he was just.
I think so too. So it had a sad quality to it. It was a sad Morgan death or Gabriel death.
Yeah, this isn't. I can't.
It wasn't a happy one.
I can't accuse Morgan of murder here. I mean, he was more trying to murder Bramwell in the duel than he was murder his own brother here. He wasn't very successful at either. Well, at least from the duel standpoint. With this, he just pushes him away to get him away, and I think he goes for the gun. I think he was just wanting to shoot his brother rather than impale him, but the impalement is more accidental than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. They're having fun.
Yeah.
And then these things happen. Yeah. And that's that, and then it gets sad when a Prentice dies. Do you think was it too soon, or was it on schedule?
I think this is on schedule personally, because now we've talked about how Kate Jackson's character, we thought they should have killed her off sooner. This is why Kate Jackson's death comes later, is because of Gabriel's death. Gabriel's death has to come first. And I think a lot of the reason it's written this way too, obviously David Selby, he can't be on the show because of his appendix. He had to go get surgery. Obviously, he had to get that out. And with this, they have to write Gabriel's death and put it in now. And besides, Kate Jackson's death is supposed to signify the importance of Morgan going mad, and we sort of get that hint in the prior episode where Morgan says to Catherine, "Oh, if Daphne dies, Bramwell will be available, or Bramwell will be available again." So it's Daphne's death is going to be one of the most important things in the 1841 arc.
They certainly have spent a lot of time building up to it.
Yeah, they have. I get why they did the episode where she goes into a coma first, but I feel like they could have just did the they could have did the Gabriel sequence death first before the coma, but they do a coma first. And by the way, she's going to come out of the coma and she's going to feel like she's okay. And then she just turns around and dies. Spoiler alert, it's not in this episode. I'm not trying to jump. I'm just trying to explain that Gabriel, the reason she doesn't die first is because her death is supposed to be more important to this overall story of Bramwell and Catherine and Morgan's madness. So
yes,
it's, to be clear, it's not in this episode. That is coming though. It is going to eventually happen. With this, we have Gabriel's death come first. To answer your question again, it's on time. I don't feel it's rushed, or if anything, I feel they put it right here because they need it here. They need a death, and they've also been, to be fair too, they've been teasing Gabriel's death as well.
They have.
They
have. Yeah.
By the way, we get another Quentin reference mentioned in this episode. So though David Selby is not here, his character is getting mentioned. They actually mentioned that Quentin and Morgan bury Gabriel's body, though we don't see Quentin.
And that's a shame.
Yeah,
but at least he is a real thing in the story.
I think it's important for the writers to keep him continuity going for as long as they can. I know they know David's not coming back, but they want to give his character as much mention as possible. But they have to make they're going to have to make a decision. Okay, what do we do with him? Because we can't have David Selby on the screen, and they're going to write him. The way they write him off is very, very clever. It's coming up. It might be in the next episode. I might be mistaken about that. Don't hold me to that.
I'm looking forward to the next episode. How many episodes do we have left?
Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8.
The big 8. The big 8. Which of these? What events are you looking forward to most in them?
Morgan's overall madness, because when it comes, it just comes. Okay. It's way more subtle than the James Forsythe thing, and the way it comes, it feels like he's just completely lost his mind. Keith, we've talked about Keith Prentice giving these powerful performances. He saves the best for last. He really does, and I can't wait to get through. What's your favorite, most look forward to moment coming up?
Defeating the Room.
Yeah,
it's about time. Let's take care of this thing, and really, really, really get it over with. For me, I think. Yeah.
We also, too, in this episode, I do think that I love how we get in this episode where the shots down in this dark hallway where you can't really see too much. You can't see people. You can just see Morgan. And I love how they make Gabriel's voice echo. It sounds very creepy and scary.
Yes.
I like that.
It's a wonderful. They are. It's fun to watch them go so great guns with everything in all directions. I mean, because basically we have a week and a half.
Yeah.
And then the show's over. And so they've got to know.
I'll tell you who does a really great job in this episode too, obviously, is Grayson Hall. Because I always got the sense before they make the big reveal of who Melanie's mother is, I always felt they were going to say it was Julia.
It looked like they were editing it that way. I mean, they are teasing this like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah,
and
that's the thing. They don't just tease. They do tease the mother reveal in this episode, but they've been teasing parental lineage throughout Melanie's whole entire arc. Like, who is her mother alive? Is her father alive? Who are her parents? And once you start learning, okay, her father's dead, her mother is alive, and then you from an audience standpoint, you see Grayson Hall's Julia Collins do everything to blockade this because she says, oh, her and Justin made a promise with Justin Collins that it was never to get out for whatever reason. And you're thinking, wait, and your eyes are sort of fixated on Grayson because it's like, it looks like she herself does want to tell Melanie at some point, like during this arc. But it's like, okay, are you her mother?
Mm-hmm.
But Grayson doesn't. And it's like, yes, the writers do a great job of teasing, but so does Grayson.
Yes, she does. Well, she's in on it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. She's been in on it the whole time. And I wouldn't have, don't get me wrong, we're not going to get into the full reveal here. I do love the reveal, but I wouldn't have minded if they would have went the other way and said it was Julie either.
Yeah, it would have been fun.
Yeah, it really would have been fun to see how that would have played out, considering they've had tense moments themselves, like a mother and daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I
agree.
What's your favorite moment?
No shit.
Sorry, what's your favorite moment in this episode?
Gabriel's death.
Yeah.
It's a big moment. Long time coming.
I'm with you on this. Gabriel's death is so good. I do love, but if I had to pick a second, I do love that we get the hook of we're not getting a reveal of who the mother is yet. So Dan Curtis is hooking us a little more back in. Mm-hmm. And that's a fun moment in just the soap opera in general. Yeah, okay, we rewarded you with Gabriel's death, but we're hooking you back with who's Melanie's mother.
Yes.
Even though the show's going off air, you talked about guns firing in all directions. The guns are blazing as well with the writers and just the decisions they're making.
I agree. And it's sad, but it's they're they're handling it in a very noble way. I think
they are. I think they're not doing anything to like rush themselves or they're not teasing the audience to piss them off. They're teasing them to keep them coming back. Even though, like, Dark Shadows knows it's going off there, but they themselves are treating it, hey, let's run it like we always did, which is smart.
It's showmanship. Yeah. I mean, it's pure showmanship.
It absolutely is. Is there anything you want to add about this episode?
No, I think it's a strong episode. It makes me really eager to move on to 1238.
Yeah.
And see who the mother is.
What are you doing tomorrow night, my friend?
I'm right here with you.
Okay,
let's do it.
We'll be back. We will be back tomorrow night with episode 1238, which will be a lot of fun. Link to the Dark Shadows Day will come down is going to be in the description box. Go pick that bad boy up if you haven't already. Patrick, my friend, it is always a pleasure, sir. You have a great night.
Jewel, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.